It was a dark and stormy night. Cruising along in the Z3, me and my wife, middle of nowhere. Everything was okay. Then all of a sudden, boom! A catastrophic noise. The engine, what was it? Temperature going through the roof. I lost the water pump. I pulled over. What was I going to do? A pack of wolves in the distance noticed our plight and slowly moved closer. My wife said, "Can you fix this?" I looked at her calmly and said, "Absolutely not. We're gonna die." Hello, happy people, and welcome to your Moment of Zed, the YouTube channel dedicated to the most beautiful car in the world, the BMW Z3, or as our friendly neighbors to the north call it, the Z3. I'm Mark, and I'm here on a cold Easter weekend in Florida. If you celebrate Easter, happy Easter. If you don't, I hope you have a great weekend regardless. Actually, I have a busy weekend planned. I'm pretty excited. I have some friends coming over for dinner this evening, and I get to go visit some family tomorrow. But I did not want to leave our small but growing community without a video for the week because we love our Z3 content. Speaking of our small but growing community, we've been adding a few subs a day, and I'm very happy and very proud of that. If you're watching this video right now and you haven't subscribed, you'd be doing me a big favor if you just hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep growing. Thank you. So this week I wanted to talk about roadside emergencies, and more specifically what I carry in my emergency toolkit. Okay, so let's start with the most important part of my kit, the tools. I like to carry basic tools because you have to be realistic about what you're going to be able to do on the road, and just start out with two different sizes of vice grips, a combination wrench, a needle nose plier with a built-in wire cutter, probably more screwdrivers than I need, but they came in a set, so I put them all in there. The strangely often handy 90-degree screwdriver that, again, it's more useful than you think. A set of some basic metric sockets, and a fairly extensive set of Torx, male and female, with the driver, the handle there. A small knife. A cheapy set of Allen wrenches, an inspection mirror, which again, another item that comes in very handy when you're trying to look for something that's wrong in confined spaces. And I'd also like to say a lot of these things could be replaced with a good combination tool like this one if your space is limited, your budget's limited, whatever the case may be. So you might want to think about that. This is one I own, but I don't carry it in the car. I just carry all those other tools. And finally, maybe the most important thing, decent light. This is an LED light run by a couple of AAA batteries. I just picked this up at Walmart for like $4. It's great, very bright, and the cool thing about it is it has a magnet on the bottom, so you could stick it onto something in the car, including the car itself, so you don't have to hold the light. You can work with both hands. So kind of a neat little item, and just picked that up the other day to replace my old weak light. Oops, did forget one very important tool, of course, a tire pressure gauge. On to the second part of my kit, which I'll call things to put parts back on that fell off. First of all, a hose clamp, an assortment of bungee cords, small ones, electrical tape, and maybe the most important thing of all, duct tape, or 100-mile-an-hour tape, or 200-mile-an-hour tape, depending on who you are and how fast you drive. Also very handy for patching leaks and things in an emergency. And finally, an assortment of wire ties in various sizes and colors. Okay, I know what you're saying, but Mark, that's not enough stuff. You forgot about this, that, and the other thing. I know. Let's talk chemicals. Things you would probably want to carry, but depending on your use case. If you're like me and you're never more than a few minutes when you drive from an auto zone, or more than a few minutes from a tow truck that could come out and get you, I try to limit what I carry. However, if your use case is you're driving across the desert every day, then what you need is going to be different. So maybe the most important chemical you could carry is water. Carry enough not only for you to drink in an emergency, but also to use as emergency coolant. Gallon bottles, small bottles, doesn't make any difference. Obviously, I just put this cardboard box here because if you're going to carry around a bunch of liquids and it's going to have to be in your trunk here in the Z3, you don't want them rattling around. I would also carry a quart of motor oil and probably some brake fluid as well. Okay, final thoughts. Your own safety. If you've ever watched the videos that are all over the internet about wrecks and dash cams and all that sort of thing, you'll notice some of those videos are people on the side of the road, broken down, getting rammed by someone who's either drunk on their cell phone or whatever it is people are doing nowadays when they drive. So before you get buried too deep into your hood or underneath your car, which is hard to do on the Z3 anyways, be aware of your surroundings. And, you know, the cost of a tow truck is not worth your life, so keep that in mind. Another thing is, I'm sure I left stuff out that you may carry. Please put that stuff in your comments, start the conversation. Tell me things that I didn't mention that you do carry, such as triangles, a first aid kit. Some of those things may be required where you drive your car or where you register your car, depending on where you're at. I think I will buy a first aid kit, which really kind of comes in handy, not only for yourself, but maybe you'll need to help someone else who has a problem someday. Don't be shy about being a good Samaritan out there, even in today's crazy world. Final bit of advice about emergency kits. I was talking to my YouTube daddy, my buddy Pat, the other day about this very subject, and he said, you know, Mark, the best advice I ever got about emergency kits came from a motorcycle forum post where someone said, my emergency kit consists of two things, a charged cell phone and a credit card. Hey, if you found this content helpful, please hit the like button. And thank you as always for being here. Until next time, drive safe.